Now, after that, we have identified and completed our resource management plan, where we have identified how will the resources will be acquired, managed, and controlled to ensure the project success and meeting the project goals. Now it's the time to move to the next process, which is estimating the activity resources, which is part of the resource management plan. In this video, we'll explore the definition and significance of estimating the resources requirements in the project management, and we'll introduce the resource breakdown structure, which is the RBS, and review the methods for accurately estimating the type and quantity of resources necessary for the project success. And the key ITTOs involved here when estimating the activity resources, the inputs is well known. So the tools and techniques, including the expert judgment, the bottom-up estimating, the analogous estimating, the parametric estimating, data analysis, and the outputs will be here the resource requirements and basis of estimates. So if we recall that we have covered all of these tools when doing the cost management plan, and when estimating also the time that is needed for each task. So we'll go again back to each of these and how we can utilize them when doing estimating the activity resources. But first, let's understand what is the resource estimation. So resource estimation is the process of determining the type and quantity of resources that is required to accomplish the project tasks and achieve the project objectives accurately. An accurate resource estimation ensures that you have the necessary resources available to meet the project demands and timelines. And by estimating resources early, you can avoid potential shortages, delays, and the overallocation of resources, and that might impact the project success. And the importance of estimating the resource requirements accurately. So, accurately estimating resource requirements is critical and crucial for several reasons. First, it helps creating a realistic project schedule and budget, which are essential for a successful project delivery. By knowing the resources required, project managers can plan more effectively and allocate resource efficiently. Additionally, accurate estimation helps minimize the resource conflicts and constraints, ensuring that the project timelines and budget are adhered to. Now let's see the resource breakdown structure, or the RBS. The resource breakdown structure, or RBS, is a hierarchical tool that organizes um, and categorizes all of the resources required for the project. Think of the WBS, how when we were defining these activities and we break down the project scope into the deliverables, and these deliverables we have break them down into work packages, and each work package has an activity list, and each of these activities might have some specific tasks. So think of the same concept here when doing the resource allocation. So you need to consider having each of the tasks and assigning each of the tasks with its required resources. It helps, or the RBS, it helps breaking down large and complex resource needs into manageable components, making it easier to identify specific resource requirements for each of the project phase or tasks. The RBS, or resource breakdown structure, facilitate the estimation process by ensuring all of the resources types, such as human resources or equipment and materials, are probably categorized and assigned, aiding in accurate and efficient resource planning. Let's see the tools and techniques or methods to estimate the resource requirements. So the analogous estimating, again, we say that the analogous estimate, it uses the historical data from the similar project to estimate, in our case, the resources. The next tool here we have is the parametric estimating, which relies on a statistical model or algorithms to estimate resources needed based on the project parameters. The next tool here you have is the expert judgment. When you leverage the experience or subject matter experts to provide an insight to resource requirements. The bottom up estimating. So this tool involves detailed estimate. It might yes take a longer time, but it's more accurate and precise. So it involves detailed estimates for each individual tasks, aggregating them to form a total resource requirement. Now let's see how to define the resource types and quantities. So once you identify the resource needed, it's essential to define both of the type and quantity of each resource. So resources can be categorized into several types such as human resources or equipment, materials, let's say software license, and by estimating the quantity of each resource required for a specific task, you can develop a detailed resource plan that aligns with the project schedule and scope. And this will ensure that the resources are available when needed and prevents resource shortages or overages during the project implementation. Resource estimates should align with the key project constraints, including the time, cost, scope. For example, if there are limitations on budget or time, your resource estimate should reflect these constraints. It's essential to also consider the availability of resources and any potential limitations that could impact the project. As conditions change during the project lifecycle, you may need to adjust your resource estimate to maintain the alignment with overall project objectives. So you need to ensure that the resources estimates are aligned with the project constraints and factor also in the availability and limitation of the resources available. You also need to adjust the resources and keep your plans updated based on the project condition changes. Now let's look into the best practices when estimating the resource requirements. To ensure that your resource estimates are accurate, here are the some of the best practices to follow. The first one is involve the stakeholders in the estimation process to gather an accurate and realistic data. Next, you can use the historical data and lessons learned from the past projects to guide your resource estimate. Also, you can review and adjust the estimates so regularly as the project progress. Since the resource requirements can change due unforeseen circumstances, you need to keep reviewing and adjusting your resource estimation plans. In summary, we say that estimating resource requirements is a critical step in ensuring your project runs smoothly. By leveraging the resource breakdown structure or the RBS and using a variety of estimation methods or tools, you can ensure that the right resources are available at the right time, and this will help you stay on track with the project scope, schedule, and budget, driving the overall project success.